I'm going to go say happy birthday to Isabella. Here she is. She's right over here. This is for your 8th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Isabella. Happy birthday to you. And there's her 8th birthday candle. She just turned 8 years old. Hello again, YouTube fans. This is Matt, a post-April 6th YouTube channel. Today is day 999, the 999th day that I've had a YouTube channel post-April 6th. That's correct. April 28th was 999 days. Let me rephrase it again. April 28th, 2023 was 999 days ago. Well, I've had quite an interesting day. Despite the fact that this is the 999th day of me having the YouTube channel. A lot happened. A little after 9 a.m., I woke up for a little bit, and I used the bathroom, and then I come back to bed, and I thought, you really need to get back to sleep. Because it was due to the fact that it was up till 3 a.m. Previously. You really need to get back to sleep so that you can get a real good night's sleep and be well rested. And so anyways, I go back to sleep. And then at one point, as I'm sleeping, I don't drive. I've never learned how, well, I did learn how to drive once, but I only had one lesson. So I'm not an accomplished, licensed vehicle driver. I don't know how to drive. I will learn, but one of these days, but not now. Anyhow, in the dream, I went through an auto loan financing and other things that you are required to go through to obtain ownership of an automobile. I mean, this is cars, trucks, motorcycles, commercial vehicles like heavy-duty trucks, semi-trucks, tractors, you know what I mean. And what happened was after I obtained ownership and I was granted a special security device that was hooked up to the keychain. There was only, one key where I could get anywhere in the motorhome, because it wasn't just a vehicle, it was a motorhome. And it was a motorhome that was a little bit bigger than what was popular over 40 years ago. I'm referring to the era in about 1982, 1983. U-Haul was big into it for a few months. It was called a mini Winnebago. And it was a Winnebago that was pretty small. And inside the engine compartment, engine chassis, where you put the engine, was a 4-cylinder, small size 55 to 65 horse motor that was fit inside a compact Renault car. And having a Renault four cylinder 55 or 65 horse motor, even in a, excuse me, sorry, the breath mint made my voice a little bit hoarse. Having that type of engine in a miniature Winnebago was a bad idea, because the car really didn't have enough torque and horsepower that, when the thing would drive up a mountain like this, even though you're driving at a slow speed, it was too hard on the engine would blow out. Yeah. It would, it'd blow out, it'd bust up. And anyhow, my father, when he ran his diesel repair business, before he had to shut it down because of financial dip, he was sick of the battles and he was tired of it after 12 years. I clearly remember him replacing the motor in at least two of those vehicles, because a U-Haul dealership came to him to get this done. So this vehicle was about 10% larger than the mini Winnebago, and it didn't have the Winnebago logo, but it had sort of a nice modern yet old school mini motorhome look. And I was driving from someplace in the northeast part of the Denver area to an area near South Colorado Boulevard, and I parked. I think the street might have been Warren. It was a street that would be in between Evans and East Yale, and it would also be fairly close to the University Hills or U Hills shopping center. And I did some walking around with a large shopping bag, reusable shopping bag, and I was looking for something. I forget what I was looking for. And then a auto recovery, one of those big flatbed trucks. The thing was like over 200 feet long or something. I mean, it was huge. It was built like a semi truck with a really big flatbed on there. My camper that I supposedly owned in the dream, this is for sake of me owning it in the dream but not in real life, of course, was parked in the middle of the street when I didn't put it there. Somebody played a big prank, more than likely. Somebody who knew how to do a carjacking didn't just carjack it, they just moved it out of the way and they put it in the middle of the street, and then they probably used a cellular phone that wasn't theirs to place a complaint with the police department or with the Colorado Department of Transportation, or who knows who was informed. And this huge thing is they're starting to go through a few steps before they load it up onto the recovery flatbed tow truck, because it's not a typical tow truck. What it has a heavy duty winch that goes, once it hooks it up to the vehicle the right way, you hear this, and it goes up the flatbed as it's like this, and then when it's all the way up, it's like that. The hydraulic lifters lower it, lower the bed, the flatbed. and then it's strapped down with some Z straps and however the tower would do it, so that that thing is secure. And if they all of a sudden have to do an abrupt stop, the thing doesn't go and it goes off and hits another vehicle. Well, there was a man and a woman that was doing the pre-procedural things that they're supposed to do before they put it on the flatbed. And I did this because she was trying to get in there. And I did this, and then she falls off of the step ladder that she was on. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, she got hurt. I'm going to have to explain myself and apologize profusely to the lady because I felt bad. And I'm really trying to get across the street, but there's so much traffic in the way. You it's going to take some time to get there. And then I look straight and I look over to where the vehicles are, and I look straight and I look over to there where the vehicles are over and over again. And then all of a sudden, right as I cross the street, I go from this side of the street to the other side. I look over that way where the thing is parked, where the mobile home is parked in the middle of the street that's not supposed to be there, and it was done without my knowledge and without my consent. And I see it being towed away, along with a big or a fairly small-sized trailer that would be hitched onto a semi-truck. Yeah. Either a semi-truck or a really large pickup, like a 4500 Dodge Ram. And then what I do is I'm standing on the street and I'm just feeling my heart sunk. And I don't know what to do to solve this problem. And I called the 800 number that I was supposed to call, and I kept saying, I said, emergency customer service or something like that. And the automated system kept asking the same question when I kept repeating the same request of what I need to have happen quite quickly, as quickly as possible. And then I just hung up the smartphone and I put it right here on my hip cell phone holder or holster, and I'm just like, how am I going to get home? Am I going to get an Uber? Should I get an Uber ride? Should I get a Lyft ride? Should I use RTD? Should I call a friend? And then I was so ashamed. I said, you know what? I'm going to try to walk home. I'm too embarrassed to get into a vehicle right now. I'm just going to walk home. I just don't care. And then right as the walk signal, where I can cross the street and go that way, pops up. The dream ends and I'm awake. And it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And I was fine with that. I was like, great. I got some good rest. That was just a dream. And I kept saying, I just said to myself briefly, oh my God. What a crazy, strange nightmare that don't make any sense. Stuff like that when you're first waking up and you're feeling quite groggy at first. I get out of the bed, I go use the bathroom, and I go into the kitchen and I proceed to wash the pots and the skillets, not the pots and pans, the skillets, and the other dishes, get that all caught up, and then proceed to cook breakfast the way I like to. and I also made myself a cup of coffee. And when I was free to do it without leaving something cooking and burning, I went into the bathroom and I took my medications I was supposed to take every day, right after I wake up. And then what I did was, after I ate breakfast, it was a good breakfast. It's what I call 3-3-H. 3 strips of bacon, 3 eggs, and hash browns. And then what I did was, in fact, let me think about that and I'll be right back. Oh yeah, I started reviewing some emails. And I also started to look at some things on YouTube. I mean, I had so many things I was thinking about looking at on YouTube. I honestly don't remember what I was looking at. Hold on, that's not true. I'm gonna go look at the history, and I'll be back. Okay, after I reviewed the history, I believe what I was doing was I watched a special documentary that did some simulation. You know, it's not the type of animation that would be in Walt Disney cartoons and Looney Tunes cartoons and stuff like that. It would be the type of animation where it does a simulation of what the Golden Gate Bridge looked like as it was being assembled, step by step by step by step. You know, the big concrete formations that was bigger than this, that was several tons, that was put into the ground. Because that was, I don't know how they did it, but I tell you, I bet it was quite a extremely complicated, extremely daunting task. And then they put up the big, I think it's called the columns of the shafts. The ones where it looks like it's about this big from a distance, but it's probably bigger than, it's probably at least this big, you know, this big, you know, like this. And this way, it would be about like this. It'd be quite huge. I mean, quite huge. And then the part where they put this up, and you know, before they lay the asphalt, and what they and what the and the part that, you know, the part that goes like this, like that, where it's a whole bunch of, it's like several hundred or several thousand metal rods that would be about this big around each, you know, cloistered together, and then they put those heavy iron columns around them like that. And I watched about probably at least 70 to 75% of how things were done step by step by step by step, until I was just like, okay, that's enough. And then what I did was I started to watch Junkyard Digs, and it's a Pontiac. I'm pretty sure it's a Pontiac Bonneville that was built somewhere between the 1960s and the early to mid 1970s. That only had 92,000 miles on it, and well, I'm not going to say his full name, but Kevin and his friend, that's a guy who's in his mid 60s, early 70s, were doing everything they can to get this thing running, and you know, them getting it unseized was pretty easy, because They thought it was seized when the engine being locked and seized was cleared up pretty quickly. And then what happens is just before 3 p.m., a good friend of mine named Martin called me, and I tell you, he and I talked quite long. We had a lot of interesting things to talk about. And after talking to him for a little more than an hour, I jumped in the shower and I got showered and shaved and brushed my teeth and got dressed. And then what I did was I started doing a personal and business expense reports that I always do. And then what I did was I started putting loads of wash in at some point, because I did 3 loads of wash today. 3. My clothes hamper was almost completely full. And then I packaged up a LP I sold. It's Hello, I Love You and Love Street on the other side of the Doors. Yeah. And I sent a bookmark that was a Powell's Books of Portland, Oregon, a very famous bookstore. It's a bookmark I got for free with a purchase of something I bought from Powell's Books. I sent that to the guy because he only paid $1 for it, and plus he paid the postage, and I made a profit. And I didn't get to the post office because it was a little after 6 p.m. before I could do this. And then I sent a lengthy letter to a company that keeps bugging me about something they shouldn't be bugging me about. I'm not going to say anything more. And then what happens is as I am drafting the letter, some food was delivered. It was a sub sandwich that's about this big around and about that long. It's called a Fat Bronco, put out by a really good restaurant called Fat Shack. Yep, Fat Shack. And after I ate that sandwich, the French fries that I got with it, I was like, nah, I'm not going to eat the French fries. That's really going to fill me up and make me feel like a really bloated blimp. So I just ate the sandwich and called it good. And then I got back to the letter and I finished it. And I was really just drained and worn out. And I lit up my pipe and I smoked my pipe. Yeah, I had to. I was just like, ooh. And I was keeping tabs on the loads of laundry. Yeah, I put away quite a bit. I put away at least 5 pairs of pants. Let me do a count really quick and I'll be back. 5 shirts, 2 undershirts that go with my sleepy pants, 1 pair of sleepy pants, and I put away 6 white socks, and I put away at least 4 to 6 pairs of boxer shorts, underwear, and I ironed 1 hanky and put it away too, and I also took a kitchen towel and I put that away on a stack of kitchen towels I have on top of my refrigerator. And then I watched a lot of videos done by Jordan of Days with Jordan the Lion YouTube channel. Yeah, he's quite popular. I mean, I'm getting more and more popular, but he's far more popular than I am. He's got over 300,000 subscribers. He's pretty high up there. And gosh, what else did I do? Yeah, I was also contemplating what type of vlog to do. Yeah. I have an idea of what else to include into this vlog. Stay tuned. In a second you're going to see what it's about. Hi, sweetie. You look so sleepy. Is it because you're 8 years old? You kind of look like a sleepy cat. I think she's feeling fine. It's just one of those things. I mean, when she gets up and walks around, she walks around, and I don't see any other evidence that she's suffering from an illness. And the other thing is, she's 8 years old now. Her body's probably going through a little bit of a change. Well, I think that's about all for this vlog. I hope everyone is having a good time and having a good life, and I hope that the part of the United States or the rest of the world outside the United States is not really cold. And like I've already said before, thank you everyone for watching this vlog and being a part of this vlog. And goodbye now. Thank you very much. And this isn't the end. Day 1000 is less than 24 hours away. Goodbye now. Thank you.